Time now for some live Q&A. I am Tom Downey. Alongside me is Harrison Graham. First up from Connor Stitch. Everyone be like him. Use that hashtag CFP in the comments section. If Minnesota wins out, do they make it in as number 4?
First of all, loyal watcher, he was live with me for the watch party last night, so we appreciate Connor, joining us again. I do think they would get in because we just went over it, right? Like, one-loss Big Ten champ that beats Ohio State in the title game. I don't see how you leave that team out unless barring the Georgia over LSU. But even then, it would be hard to leave them out because in that scenario, Clemson's in. You know, even if both SEC teams get in, maybe the Pac-12 gets left out in that scenario and Minnesota gets in. If Minnesota wins out, it's going to be very tough to leave them out.
So Minnesota, I think they're in good shape if they win out, but we'll see. Now, Troy wants to know, does the winner of the Pac-12 title game get in for sure? So we'll start with that one here.
I think it's 95%. The one scenario is Georgia loses to LSU or beats LSU.
Now, in that case, the loser would go to the Rose Bowl, barring some weird scenario where the Pac-12 gets 2 teams in, but that's not going to happen there. So in that case, the Rose Bowl would pick the second or the first, if they don't get in, Pac-12 team. How do they rank a 4-loss USC team?
I got nothing for you because
I don't know.
Okay, producer Brett just brought up a good point. 4-loss Iowa State. Iowa State's lost 4 games by a combined 12 points to all top 25 teams. USC's been boat raced a couple times. Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, that's the one team that's in the rankings that you're like, there's usually one team per week. This week it's USC.
All right, Matt Weaver wants to know about a 6-team championship, meaning I see a couple guys there. Since 8 is just too much, I mean, I'm trying to get all the team everyone's crying about to get in, right? First off, 8's not too much.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say I don't hate the 6-team idea because everybody's like, the regular season gets diminished if you expand. Well, if you go to 6, you're trying to win every game and get one of those buys. Yeah. So it's not diminished. If anything, it's even more emphasized because you want to win every single game to get one of those top 2 seeds. So I wouldn't hate that. I still think you go to 8 because, again, it's not diminished. You know why? Because what you do is you make the quarterfinals home games. Top 4 seeds get home games. Regular season equally as important because you want to play at home in the quarterfinal round. I think you go to an 8-team playoff, and that's your format. The first round is home games.
All right, further gaming, what do you think about the Hokies? A lot differently than I thought after that Duke massacre.
This Virginia Tech season almost collapsed when they almost blew a 30-point lead against Miami. They found a way to win, have played pretty good since then. They easily could have beat Notre Dame.
That was right there.
They were right there, up 6 late. Ian Book was able to drive down and win that game. But Justin Fuente has rallied the troops. 8-4 type of season, probably what you're looking like for Virginia Tech.
They control their path to the ACC title game.
I mean, if they got to the ACC title game, that would be a good accomplishment for after that Duke game. That would be a big turnaround.
I would say no matter what, maybe barring 3 straight losses to end the year, I think this has been a success for Justin Fuente.
He saved his job
because of where they could have been. I've always liked Virginia Tech. I like what they did this year. Further, I know you are a Virginia Tech fan, but everyone watching right now on Facebook and on YouTube, let us know who you cheer for. I saw we had some Ohio States in there, the common big teams, Bama, Georgia in there as well.
A lot of Oregon and Utah tonight, more Pac-12 fans.
Yeah, we saw Louisiana Tech in there too, which I did not expect to see there. I see Ohio State in there right now, OSU. So keep shouting them out here as we go through some more Q&A. Oklahoma in there, Penn State, Utah. Let us know in the comments. Now, Ryan Johnson, chance Penn State gets an upset this weekend.
I hate to say it, I think it's 0. Like, if it, again, like you said, if it was in Happy Valley at night, 110,000, maybe it's like snowing or something like that, perhaps. I don't think the weather's going to be a problem this weekend. Even if it is, Ohio State runs the heck out of the ball. They're going to get boat raced. Like, I think Ohio State is going to stomp Penn State. 1%. I'll give it a 1%
chance. Oh, wow,
chance.
that's it?
I don't think Penn State has.
I'll go 25%.
That's way too high. There's absolutely no chance Penn State wins at the Horseshoe.
Sounds like it's 0% then, not 1%.
Well,
flip-flop, snap.
Justin Fields gets hurt. There's your 1%.
Okay. I guess that's fine. Jacob wants to know, he's put this in quite a few times, who do you think wins the championship this year? Patience, Jacob. We'll get to him. Just patience.
I'm starting to think Clemson, right? Like,
you're just trying to suck up to producer Alicia.
No,
I see what it is.
I'm really not. Look, think about this, too. We haven't talked about this at all. Clemson is going to be the healthiest and freshest team in the country come playoff because they aren't tested. They coast through these games. Their fault or not their fault, obviously, but they're going to be healthy. They're not going to be tested. maybe that's a bad thing. I would argue it's a good thing.
I'm going LSU.
They're super healthy. Clemson and Ohio State look like the two best teams to me. I think it'll be one of those two teams. LSU's defense, all of a sudden, it worries me.
All right, Tate and Wright. Does Georgia deserve number 4? I think yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. If Georgia beats LSU, will there even be a debate between the Pac-12 champion and LSU?
I think
no.
Well, unless the Pac-12 winner blows out the opponent, right?
And if there's a big injury.
Say
if Burrow gets hurt.
Say Georgia beats LSU by 17 somehow. I don't see how it happens, but maybe LSU's defense just gets gashed. And Oregon beats Utah 42-10. Maybe in that scenario, but at that point, it's still a very big long shot. Look, if you're a non-SEC team or one of these teams on the bubble on our CFP map, you cannot have Georgia beat LSU. That is the one scenario you cannot have, so you need to be pulling for LSU the rest of the way.
All right, Evan Rosales says that Oklahoma beat Baylor at Baylor and is upset they're still behind Penn State and Utah.
Penn State has 2 top 25 wins as well, and one of them's for sure higher than OU's. Look, the committee thinks the Big 12 stinks.
Clearly.
That's what they've told us.
I don't really agree with it, though.
I do think it's close between the Pac-12 and Big 12. I would actually probably lean Pac-12, and I'm a Big 12 biased guy, and I'm still saying that, so you know it's legitimate if I'm saying it. But look, they've shown us consistently, Tom, that they don't think the Big 12 is good. They didn't think Baylor was good last week, and OU barely beat them, so they're saying, okay, you're in the top 10. We don't think much more than that. So, I think Oklahoma would have a good chance against Penn State and Utah, but that's not what this is. They're grading their resumes and all that stuff, and they don't think they stack up next to Penn State and Utah.
All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. That's the URL. We'll take you right to BetDSI to sign up and deposit. Use the promo code CFB120 when you do it, and they'll just give you free money to bet with. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code CFB120 for a 120% deposit bonus. So you put down that $50, they're just going to give you an extra $60. Plenty of extra money to bet on as well. Maybe you want to bet on some CFP title odds. Maybe you want to bet on Ohio State, Penn State this weekend. Maybe you want to bet on any college football game. We're going to have bowl games out there. I like to do parlays. Those turn out pretty well. Sometimes. You just got to hit one.
And the best part about BetDSI is you put in $100, you get that $120 for free. If you lose a couple bets, there's plenty of money left over. Go bet on the CFP title odds. Ohio State is the favorite right now. I think, is Georgia the best value play there? If you're betting, are they the best value play?
It's Oregon, not even on the list.
Oregon's plus 16.
By the way, swing for the fences.
That's probably true because I actually don't think Bama even can get in. So Oregon, if you're wondering, Oregon's plus 1,600. So that would be the best value play.
I'm the Adam Dunn of sports bettors. I'm going to strike out a lot, but when I hit it, it's going a long way. All right, Sport Gibbous says Oklahoma's chances to make the playoffs.
10% is what I'll put it at.
They need some help. They're having a tough time getting ahead of the Pac-12 teams.
They need to steamroll Oklahoma State in a couple of weeks, who's a top 25 team, but somehow Oak State stay ranked after that. You know what I'm saying? So they need that to happen. They probably need Texas to get back into the top 25, and they need the Pac-12 champ to have 2 losses.
Yeah.
They need all of that just to start. Can't have Georgia beat LSU, by the way. And by the way, with OU at number 9, I'm starting to wonder if Bama would get in over Oklahoma. They both had one loss. I would hate that, and I think that's stupid. But based on tonight, it's hard. You have to wonder. I thought Bama might slip a bit, and OU would be in the top 8. That did not happen after this past week of games.
All right, Tyler Avon says, who would you rank instead of USC? And don't say Virginia Tech. Apparently we're not.
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And I'm not SEC bias guy. Their resume is clearly better, and they have one less loss. I don't understand USC getting in over Texas A&M. I mean, outside of that, maybe Washington's an interesting team. I think Washington's a better 4-loss Pac-12 team.
Yeah.
Eye test and resume. So, I mean, I don't get USC being in there. I mean, really, you could go.
There's a couple of one of those ACC teams.
Yeah, or Navy's a 2-loss group of 5 team.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of options. Honestly, I didn't have USC in the top 30.
Yeah,
when we were putting this together. I didn't even consider them. So I was definitely surprised to see USC get in there.
All right, Alec Todd says, who would you take, Ohio, meaning Ohio State, or LSU for the championship? Look at the profile picture before you answer.
Ohio State. I think Ohio State's the more complete team. And I know I've been slightly down on LSU tonight. With that offense, they're capable of beating anybody. We saw that against Alabama when they had Tua. But I just think Ohio State's more complete, and I think Clemson's more complete as well. So I would pick Ohio State on a neutral field to beat LSU.
I'm going LSU.
You're riding the Joe Burrow train?
I believe
I love Burrow.
Joe Burrow revenge game. You can't underestimate that.
This could be the 2-3 matchup, by the way. Well, no, LSU's going to.
It's pretty unlikely.
Yeah, you're right.
It could be a great championship.
It's going to be the national title matchup.
All right, Damian, folks, if Penn State beats Ohio State, how would it affect the playoff? Chaos.
Yeah,
that's what that is.
It would be chaos because
surely you put Penn State ahead of Ohio State.
Yeah, totally. The question is, can Ohio State get in that scenario? I think the answer is yes, but they would need some help, right? Because they can't get to the Big Ten title game in that scenario because Penn State's last game is Rutgers, and they're not losing to Rutgers. So Penn State would be in the Big Ten title game. I think Penn State would have the inside track as the Big Ten team. Clemson would be the ACC team. It might come down to a one-loss Ohio State non-champion versus one-loss Pac-12 champ, right? I mean, that's probably what you're looking at there.
Yeah, I think so. All right, got a little Action Network pro tip for you guys. You can go download the app at chatsports.com/deal. Oklahoma State, ranked Oklahoma State, on the road at West Virginia. They're a 7.5-point favorite. The majority of the bets, 51%, are picking the Cowboys to win.
Yep.
However, the money is actually on West Virginia. So what you should do is go bet on WVU to cover that 7.5-point spread. You can find all of that type of information on the Action Network. Chatsports.com/deal. Go download. You get 40% off. You follow those discrepancies, you'll make a lot of money each week. It's 40% off if you use that link, chatsports.com/. They've also got expert picks if you don't trust yourself, all kinds of bet tracking and live odds too.
And speaking of that matchup, West Virginia makes the quarterback change. They go to Jarrett Deggy. They win in Manhattan. That's a big win for Neil Brown's club in his first year. Not surprising to see the experts going that way.
Yep. All right, IVG Live, what are your thoughts on the SEC Championship? Georgia LSU? Can't wait. It's going to be a great game.
I think LSU wins by 2 scores.
Yeah, I agree.
Georgia's offense can't keep up. I don't know what. I was never super high on Jake Fromm.
Yeah.
But he's even less than what I thought. He's the worst of the 3 that Georgia has had. Eason's better. Fields is definitely better. They kept the wrong quarterback. I'm just saying. He has not had a good season.
He's been kind of up and down this year.
They run the ball and play defense, but you got to score points.
It's also the Georgia offense. They don't let their quarterbacks throw up.
Either way, you got to score points against LSU. I don't think they can score enough.
All right, FaZe Bank. Why is OU not in the top 6? I know they lost to Kansas State, but just beat Baylor. But we all know they're better than Bama without Tua and Oregon.
Well, I don't know if we all do. We know that?
Yeah.
OU's defense has been shaky, although they played better in the second half against Baylor. Obviously, pitched a shutout. And I don't think they're better than Oregon. Let me make that clear. I think Utah, you could make that argument. I think Oregon's a much more complete team.
I agree.
I think Bama OU in a New Year's Six game would be really interesting.
That
would be fun to watch.
Georgia, Oklahoma, if you can't get Bama?
I think Georgia's better.
Stop.
I think they're more complete.
All right, Ghost Prod. I know Texas is most likely not. You can just get a most likely.
They've got 4 losses.
They're not getting in. They might not get in the top 25 at the end of the year. What do they need to do to get better next season? I got defensive issues with them in particular. And here's the biggest problem for me. You're going to lose Colin Johnson, and you're going to lose Devin Duvernay. Yeah. Who are your playmakers on offense?
And not only that, Ellinger, while he's a good college quarterback, those are 2 pretty good college receivers. He doesn't often hit receivers in stride, so he's going to have to rely on younger guys to make acrobatic plays for him unless he takes that next step, because it's not just his completion percentage will say he's accurate, right? But often he's throwing behind. He's throwing late. They need more playmakers, and they got to find running backs, man. They don't have any running game whatsoever.
True.
And the defense sucks.
The defense scheme is not very good.
Todd Orlando's
they're
stock.
Telegraphing everything.
Todd Orlando's stock has plummeted this year.
Texas's defense hasn't changed in 10 years, in terms of talent and production.
Yeah.
All right, Troy Daniels, if they do expand the playoffs, do the major bowl games get taken out as the first-round games?
No,
they become them.
I think it's obvious. No, the quarterfinal round is home field advantage. If Bama's the 1 seed, they get to play at home. Top 4 seeds get to play at home, and then the semis and final game is how it is now. It's a rotation between the 6 major bowl games. I don't think it changes. I just think you make the quarterfinal round home field advantage, and that's why it doesn't diminish the regular season, because you want to get that home field.
I guess that's fair there in the end. But Troy, thank you very much for that question. I know you are a long-time watcher. I appreciate that. If it's your first time watching the show, we do more than just college football playoff rankings reveals. We do all kinds of stuff. Mock drafts all the time from yours truly right here. We do team-specific stuff as well. For example, LSU football. They've been pretty good at that whole football thing this year. We also do the AP Top 25, which you can tune in this Sunday, plus Heisman Trophy stuff. So go subscribe. See the link on screen, but you're watching on YouTube. Hit that big red button. Make sure those notifications are turned on.